Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng says the government's debt had at most increased 94.1 billion to 799.1 billion ringgit since Pakatan Harapan took over until end June 2019. Lim was coming out to correct what he called public misconceptions about direct debt, one of which was that it had increased by 245 billion, which he said was a claim made by irresponsible parties. In a statement, the finance minister said the 94.1 billion ringgit increase in direct debt had financed development expenditure, fiscal deficit and debt repayments, which included 1MDB borrowings. Total 1MDB debt, including interest, is 50.5 billion, which will only be fully paid off by 2039. Breaking it down, Lim explains that the government would have paid 13.9 billion to finance 1MDB related debt from 2017 to 2020. He said this amount was a direct loss to the people, as the money could have instead gone towards the country's welfare. Lim also made it a point to explain that external debt was in fact different from the government's direct debt. While direct debt is issued by the government, external debt comprises individual, corporate and government debt held by foreigners, as well as offshore borrowings and non-resident deposits. According to Bank Negara, Malaysia's external debt stood at 931.1 billion ringgit as at end June 2019, of which only 190 billion of that belonged to the government as direct debt. Riza Shahriz Abdul Aziz has filed for representation in a bid to have the money laundering charges against him either dropped or reduced. The stepson of Datuk Sri Najib Razak is facing 5 charges involving 248 million US dollars or 1.25 billion ringgit of 1MDB linked funds, which he allegedly received from Low-Tech Joe linked Goodstar and Aba Investments PJS through Red Granite's bank accounts. According to Deputy Public Prosecutor Muhammad Mustafa P. Kunyalam, the application was filed on November 18th, though the reason for Riza's move is confidential and could not be revealed. Mustafa added that US authorities are sending another batch of documents pertaining to the case, which they will review. Case management has been set for December 13th. MISC was awarded 3 long-term charter contracts with Shell Group entity Brazil Shipping 1 for 245 million US dollars or just over a billion ringgit. According to the Bursa Malaysia filing, the contracts were awarded to MISC's petroleum shipping unit AET Tanker Holdings. AET will own and operate the new building Suezmax class dynamic positioning shuttle tankers for operations in international and Brazilian waters. The charter is expected to commence in 2022. The contract is not expected to have any material impact to earnings for the current FY19. Sime Darby Plantation has confirmed that it is selling its entire stake in Sime Darby Plantation, Liberia, to Mano Palm Oil Industries. The sale was approved by SDB's board, and the government of Liberia also consented to the divestment. In a BOS filing, SDB explains the decision is part of its current monetization exercise, which includes the divestment of underperforming assets or assets that have achieved its full value potential for disposal. The plantation company says it is currently working with Mano Palm to finalize the terms and conditions of the sale, which is targeted to be signed by end 2019 with the aim of completing the transaction by the first quarter of 2020. SDP's Liberian operations consist of a 63-year concession signed in 2009 for 220,000 hectares of land in northwestern Liberia, constituting a fifth of its global land holdings. AirAsia Group has entered into a preliminary shareholders agreement with Universal Music Malaysia to set up a record label to promote Southeast Asian talents, it said in a BOS filing. The JV company will be named Red Records, and its ultimate aim is to popularize Asian pop music through artists and repertoire to begin with. In a statement, AirAsia said that this partnership will facilitate the ancillary revenue growth of the group in the music industry, with Universal Music bringing the necessary expertise to create synergies. AirAsia says this move forms part of its broader effort to position itself as an all-in-one travel and lifestyle marketplace. Chairing Red Records board will be Group Chairman Datuk Kamarudin Maranon, while the directors are AirAsia ex-Group CEO Nada Burur Nasiri, Ong Chung Eng and Wong Yin Chung. A definitive agreement will be signed within 3 months from November 29. The paid-up share capital will eventually be $1 million, with shareholding to be split equally between AirAsia and Universal. The company's capital will be met through third-party debt financing and shareholder loan for the initial 3-year period by way of a drawdown fund of $750,000.